We're here in Nashville, Tennessee at the NRA annual meetings, and seriously, it's not an NRA annual meeting anymore without the beautiful, fabulous Dana Loesch. Good to see you, Dana.
Good to see you. You're very kind.
All right, so before we talk about politics today and life in general, wow.
Oh, that thing. That thing.
Oh, that.
Yeah, I don't know. When did this get here?
Who put this here?
It's going to be really weird because we've always subscribed to Guns and Ammo, and members of my family get it, and so now it's going to be like, here's the magazine that we get, and I'm on it, and it's just really, it is such an honor. It really is, and I was so humbled and really shocked when they asked me. I felt like doing one of those like that. Right. But they were so great to work with. Eric Poole is the editor over there, and they did such a great job. It was a really fun interview. We did 20 questions, so it was really fun, and I'm just really honored.
But there's also a history behind this. A woman hasn't been on Guns and Ammo since
1961. An officer. She was actually a homicide detective, Jean Bray, and she lost her life in the line of duty, and she was on the cover of that magazine in 1961, and they had another gentleman in the early 70s, but it was just really, that's really humbling. I mean, that it was an officer who had so so selflessly served her constituency, and it was really an honor. It really was.
So I mean, honestly, when you look at something like that, I mean, you got the cover of the book, you look at that too, but people have read and known this magazine for so long, and like you said, I mean, it's got to be just the neatest feeling in the world.
It is. It is, and it's also because I have some very far left family members who vote for people that are not friendly to our policies on 2A that are subscribers to this magazine.
Right.
And I cannot wait until they open their mailbox and they pull it out and they're like, "You got to be kidding me!" That's what I'm waiting for right there. A little Schadenfreude for you.
Let's talk about guns for a second, especially since we're here at the NRA meeting. Can you please? We've been friends for a long time, and I think sometimes you can explain things to me in maybe ways I can't understand it. How does campus carry add to rape culture? Please answer that question.
I don't even understand what rape culture is.
Oh, okay, yeah, exactly. Let's start even there.
I mean, I just watched this thing on 2020? I don't know. Barbara Walters, she's still running kicking. She was interviewing Mary Kay Letourneau and that kid that she raped. Yeah, right. I mean, not raped. They had, when he was beginning in 7th grade. Can we tell women to stop lying about rape? Can we tell women to stop raping kids in the classroom? Can we, after the Rolling Stone UVA story, let's start there with the rape culture, if we can do that. But the idea that somehow, your attacker is going to have a weapon and he's going to overpower you, and we don't want you to have that same weapon to defend yourself. That's the logic. When you boil it down, that's what the logic is. No. I want to have something equal or preferably greater than what my attacker has. And I've talked to people like Amanda Collins. I was talking with Nikki Grozer. We went shooting this morning with Ted Nugent and Brad Thor for John Lott at Nashville Armory. I mean, these are women who, they want to be able to protect their families, and they want to be able to protect themselves, and they were disarmed by the state. They were disarmed by these people, and all of the people, by the way, who are pushing for students to remain disarmed, these are people who can outsource their security. I mean, did you honestly, and it's led by this Moms Demand Coalition. Have you been to a Moms Demand rally, Cam? Do you know?
Well, they're sparsely attended from what I saw in Nashville.
They have catered lunches. I had to scrape pennies together to get a porta-john at a grassroots rally in St. Louis. These broads, they have catered lunches, and they have free happy hours, and they have tinted window SUVs that they're chauffeured around in. That is a lobbyist group. These women who outsource their security and have enough money to throw around to have catered rallies are trying to tell struggling college females that you can't carry on campus and protect yourself. You need to be a better statistic so I can be a scenester and act like I really know what I'm talking about and get involved in your rights so I can go on MSNBC and spout all this crap. No, you're making more victims is what you're doing. You are disarming these women. You are creating rape survivors. You are a rapist best friend. End of story. Rape victims or rapists love Moms Demand. Rapists love the Bloomberg groups. Rapists love gun control. They give it all thumbs up. I get really tweaked.
Well, and listen, as you should, because it's mind-boggling when you think about as you say, logic, lack of logic, whatever you want to say. It is so crazy. But what is it about the demarcation line between off-campus and on-campus that changes a student?
Nothing. And so many students don't even live on campus. There's not, like, as you said, there's not like this invisible force field that once they're able to go through it, suddenly they turn into idiots. And the Everytown group had tweeted a photo of a gun on a table and a bunch of red Solo cups filled with what I presume to be beer. And they were saying, parents, you're going to let your daughters go to college and carry? And basically they're saying your daughters are too stupid to do anything. All they're going to do is get drunk and shoot guns everywhere. What a horrible indictment of college students' character. These are adults. These are kids that are young adults that are old enough to go and enlist and fight for our rights, but they're not old enough to carry a firearm on campus to protect themselves at night. Are you kidding me? That's idiotic. It's offensive. It's ageist, and it's sexist. And if, according to their logic, if they wanted to ban firearms on campus and stop campus carry because they're afraid of accidents, by their logic, let's go ahead and ban all alcohol. Let's ban all automobiles as well. I mean,
they're banning frat parties and sorority parties. I mean, they're going band crazy on these campuses. These are supposed to be the bastions of free ideas, and free ideas are being shut down.
You know what these people are saying? They're saying we did not do our job to raise responsible enough children, so we're going to ban all the things everywhere because we sucked as parents. That's what they're saying. And some of these parents that I have seen speak out about this, they're like, well, I wouldn't want my kid to be able to. I'm sorry that you sucked as a parent and that you failed entirely, but I do not suck as a parent, and I have not failed entirely, and I don't need you to bubble wrap everything because your precious little flower wasn't able to get the proper upbringing that they deserved from you, probably because you were too busy being a scenester at a boxed lunch rally.
Let's talk about this, the other aspect of this. Listen, your passion is amazing. Let's talk about, 2016 is coming, gratefully. Most of the...
I want him out, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, it's going to be a fight.
So that's what I was going to ask you. There's most of the contenders were here. Some are too liberal, some are too conservative, some are too weak on this issue, some too strong on this issue. Can this side of the aisle get our butts together, get our minds together, and actually work together to actually win the White House?
I hope so. I really hope so.
You see, that's you seem kind of iffy.
Well, I don't. If we end up with Jeb Bush, I'm going to riot. And I'm going to do more than go to Gap and kick over their sweater sets and go to Starbucks and kick over their CD rack. I'm going to go and stomp out in the street and scream and pull my hair out if we're stuck with somebody like a candidate like that, or if we're stuck with somebody like Chris Christie, who's no friend of the Second Amendment, or if we're stuck with someone. And I know everybody's been talking about Ben Carson. Ben Carson, when he was on my radio show, was telling me about the wonderful values, Cam, of smart gun technology and how we should be able to put all of that adaptable technology on our firearms, so because we can't be trusted really with them, and then was using terms like assault weapon, which we know is a magical unicorn term for people who don't know what the hell select fire capability is.
But you say stuck with though. But that
be stuck with.
Will you take it?
No, I will not take Jeb Bush. No.
So,
No.
So then so a Democrat could win.
I don't want a Democrat to win either. But you're presupposing that is my only option, and you're presupposing that you can't make an argument, or I can't give you a conclusion to that based upon a presupposition. Okay. I don't think that we have to be stuck with him. And if we're stuck with him, it means that I failed, it means you failed, it means all of you out there failed. If we're stuck with the candidate who sucks on natural rights, we failed and we deserve it, and we should take our punishment. We really should. That's how I feel about it. This is when we need to be fighting for the best candidate. Let's look at their record. Let's look where they stand on a number of different issues. And when you look at the Second Amendment, break it down. What do they think about smart gun technology? What do they think about constitutional carry? Those are the questions that I want to see asked. I don't want to see these generic, well, what do you think of students being able to carry? Well, that sounds great, Bob, in the morning. That sounds wonderful. No, I want to know what they think about some of these smaller issues that are really going to determine just what you feel about the Second Amendment.
But Dana, you said we should take our punishment and we deserve it. Yeah. That means a Democrat in the White House.
if we get stuck with somebody who sucks and chokes, it's going to be because we deserve it. And I know nobody likes to hear that hard.
But that goes back to my point. You talk about the presupposition. If we deserve it, then...
I'm just saying, that is, if that happens, then we deserve it. I really think that we've learned our lesson, though, after the last election. I hope so. I hope we have. I'm really excited about the bench, and I cannot even believe I'm saying this, because I am one of the most cynical Debbie Downer people you will ever meet.
That's such crap right there, but go ahead.
No, it's not. I'm like one of the meanest, cynical, like it's raining all the time when it concerns political candidates. I'm really excited about our bench. I mean, who do they have? Look, they have Hillary Clinton. I mean, really? That goes without saying. They have Elizabeth Warren, who thinks she's an Indian. Her ancestors rounded up mine in Georgia. Where's my restitution? You also have maybe Martin O'Malley, who's in a crisis because he thinks he's JFK. And then after that...
Jane, please help me with this. Can we just erase Martin O'Malley from your lips? It's never going to happen. Well, any conversation with Martin O'Malley should end immediately. I must stop you.
I have something better. You know who they have next on their bench? The Castro brothers from Texas. Have you heard what Julian and Joaquin Castro? And you know that Joaquin Castro gave the, he gave the keynote at the DNC for 2012. They're trying to groom him. You want to know what they did? This was actually written up in a couple of the newspapers down in Texas. So Joaquin, Mayor San Antonio, Julian Castro is a U.S. representative. He's in Congress. And they had a parade, and Joaquin needed to skip out and go to like a fundraiser or some kind of event, and he had his identical twin brother sit in the parade car for him and wave at everyone, and it was accidentally found out by a reporter. Hands to sky. Hands to sky, that happened.
That's a bad sitcom. That's like a Three's Company episode.
They both have White House ambitions. Their mother also founded La Raza, and they hate the Second Amendment. And you can't even have, what is it? No, Austin's where you can't have a gun show. But they'd probably make it in San Antonio if they could. Right. So that's their bench. So I look at what they have to offer, and I see a bunch of old people, I see a bunch of white people, and I see two twin brothers who actually do the switcheroo in a parade. Not a really good, they don't have they're going to have an identity crisis here coming up because they don't have anybody to represent the far left Democrat anti-gun policies. When I look at our side, I see people who are falling over themselves to get in here and get an audience in front of the membership here. I see political candidates who, if they will try to get pictures of themselves shooting at the range, and they try to outdo each other with hunting stories because they really want people they really want to resonate with them, and they really want to say, look, we believe what you believe. We believe in your right to carry. We believe the only show of anything, you don't need a card like you got in Illinois. You just need your Second Amendment, your Constitution. Here it is.
Fair enough. I mean, it's such an interesting quandary, though, because you really want everyone on the side to coalesce, but it just doesn't. It seems to be. It's going to be very difficult.
Well, we have to. I mean, look, I'm not going to agree with every single person on everything. I'm not. I do have a couple of issues that I will. If you fall on them for me, you're done with me. You're dead to me. I can't handle it. Second Amendment is one of them. If you think smart gun tech is needed, if you think that, and again, Ben Carson, I think he's a great guy. I met him once. He is super amiable. I think he's a brilliant surgeon. I think he would be a horrific president, and he does not know how to talk about the Second Amendment and the training that he is receiving to put talking points into his mind to spit out when he talks to people like you or me. That's not going to make it. Great guy, nothing personal, but this is the business of America. It ain't about show friends, it's about show business, and I can't get into that. That's a make or break with me. But honestly, I'm not going to agree with every candidate on everything. It's going to be the 80-20. But I promise you, we are going to agree more with what we have on our side than we will ever agree with what we have on the Democrat side. And people need to realize this is a generational battle. You are not going to take over and get back to first principles in 1, 2, or even 3 election cycles. And if people want to pack up their bags, take their ball and go home because they can't get immediate gratification, we are lost. People need to realize how long it took from the War of Independence and the Revolution. The Revolution was the spark of ideas that predated the War of Independence, and that took a long time for them to finally get fed up and for that to happen. And I'm telling you what, we are working against an entity that has been going for, you know how long, for 100 years, if not longer. We need to be able to see the long game and match that long game.
You have so much going on right now with the book and the show and the TV show and the radio show and the magazine. Where's the best place to just catch up with you and keep up what you're doing?
DanaRadio.com. You can follow me on Twitter at your own risk because I fight sometimes. But DanaRadio.com.
Dana, you're the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cam. I always appreciate it.